Here we are, week 9 of our final project. This is our final week. As you know, the project is due this Friday, June 5th. Now, we're not right at the end of the school year, so this time I'm going to say Friday is a standard Friday. Meaning, even though we're not physically going to be in the school on Monday, really, Friday is my hope, and it's not until Monday at 8:46 that I start applying late marks to the final project. And I think that's fair given the situation we're in. Okay, so some of the most important things you want to look at when packaging up your final project. The first is make sure you have good comments. Both the grade 11 and grade 12 meetings we have this week, I'm going to focus on comments and style. Comments are usually the most common thing to forget, but good variable names are important too. If I look at your code and you have meaningful variables that are called A and B and C, you will lose a style mark for that. I don't want that, and it's because I want you to be good programmers. Okay, so I don't want to take the marks off for that, but I will, because if I don't take them off, you won't do it, for some of you. Second thing with packaging it up, make sure you don't include things that aren't actually part of your project. So for example, if you have Photoshop documents that are very large and they don't actually, you use them to generate your PNGs, but you don't use them anymore, well, get rid of them. Okay, so just package up what's needed, zip it up, but make sure everything that you do need is there. Check it before you upload it. Every year someone gives me the wrong version. And I give them a mark that's 20% less than they deserve. Then we have an interview and I say, oh, really? You thought you deserved more than 70? Look at this. And they're like, oh, that is trash, yeah. Oh, my real version is here. Okay, so check it first. Interviews. Because we're not going to physically be back, I'm going to limit the interviews this year. So because I have time to mark them before the end, what I'll do is, as I mark them, I'll have a checklist of people I need to interview. 2 reasons I need to interview. One, I'm not 100% sure that it's your code or all of your code. And the second is, there's elements of your code that I don't fully understand what's going on, and I don't have like 2 hours to figure it out. So I want you to sit down and explain to me what's going on, so I make sure that I appreciate the complexity of it. Okay, now, so the interviews will happen from the 15th to the 19th in that week there. So next week, I'm going to work like a dog to mark them all, and then we'll have interviews the following week so I know who we're interviewing. But next week, we go back to regular classes. So the government guidelines are you need to have 90 minutes a week of work time if you're in a full year class. Now, as you know, for the final project, I felt you should be putting in 7 hours a week of work for this project. Now that the project's done, I think we can go back to the actual Ministry of Education guidelines that say an hour and a half. That should be enough to cover our last unit. And so I think we're going to have mandatory classes. So the ones before were optional. If you didn't want to go to them, that was fine. These are mandatory. The project's done. You have to go to class again. I know, it's shocking. So regular classes, we're going to have, so to get our 90 minutes, that's about 2 classes a week, 2 full classes. We're going to hold classes regular class time, Monday and Wednesday. So I'll give some exercise and some extra work, and that makes up for the extra bit of time. But that's the way we're going to do. So starting next week, regular class time, Monday and Wednesdays. Other days I'll still respond to messages. If you're working on some of the work I give you, you're not quite sure where you're going, I'm always available for that. But mandatory meetings start next week, Monday and Wednesday. This is important. You have to go to these. Okay, there's a chance, by the way, that in September we're still going to be online. You've got to get used to going to mandatory classes every day. Okay? Package up your project. I'll tell you if you need an interview or not. We start mandatory classes Monday. Stay in, stay safe. Any questions about the final packaging of your final project, just send me a message. Have a great day.